So I made like a part 1 of this. Is there a way to? Okay. I made a part 1 of this on the old channel. If you were an OG, you would have known. But the account got removed. So also I'm sick, which is just great. So yeah, homie tutorial for anybody who wants to draw the homie character. Not me. Totally different person, but the homie character. Okay, how do I? Maybe I want it zoomed back in. I'll be teaching you how to do the regular guy. Where's my hand? Okay. And a human guy. For all you human, the setup is kind of bad. I just took the light that was on my music stand that like clips to the table, taped my phone on, and that's what we're gonna be working with. It's the weekend. I've work due tomorrow, and I'm not doing it. Oh no, I will, but yeah. So, oh god. So this is not how I usually sound. Like I said, I'm sick. So for the regular, the giggly little Glago guy, you want to draw, with most round shaped things, you want to draw a circle, and then give him a big smile. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? He's not perfect. And then there's lines. Now, the lines don't have to be there. If your style has like a different kind of shape to it, it's fine. It's just the most important thing is that his mouth almost always looks like that. I mean, he could be, frowning, or be like, yay, yay, really, really happy. But the thing is, the teeth are almost always showing. Now, I'm not a doctor, I am not a scientist, and I am not the smartest person ever, okay? I don't know how it would look realistically, but he has some kind of deformity that makes it hard to completely, close his mouth. And if it does, it'll look a little wonky, And then you want to draw eyes. Now, if you look at the actual, critter, the actual species he is, the eyes look a little bit bigger, and sometimes I'll draw them big, and then sometimes I'll do them small. It doesn't matter. Like I said, you got to implement your style. I'm just telling you, the basics. I don't even know what the purpose of this is. And then, if you're feeling extra detailed, if you're feeling it, add the eye bags. This guy drinks too much coffee. He's a tired man. And then you got his signature shades. Okay. Signature shades. Now, the wire... Is the light moving? Alright, the wire is, sometimes bent. You could draw it anyway, because, it was a rudimentary design he made when he was, really young. That's why they're so big, and they're able to actually fit on his gigantic fucking cranium. But, yeah, the side panels are, or not side panels, what the fuck am I talking about? So I need to stop cursing. It's, metal wire, so... you could bend it any way you want. And then these, they follow, the BFDI. I don't think it originated in BFDI, but there's, a certain style that they do for 9 shades. And you could kind of do that. But you could really do any shine, and really any color. I tend to pick, purple shades to go along with the, skin color. But you could do whatever. And you could add, if you will want to do, a close-up, it does have, cracks in it, because I told some of you guys, the glass on his glasses has been, glued, taped, fixed so many times. Sometimes, at this point, I don't even think any of the original glass remains on the actual frames. He might keep it somewhere in his house, but the actual glass he first used is probably not there anymore because it was so, like, broken over time. Yeah, you have to think if you've actually, like, read his stuff. By the way, I have to rewrite that page if I, once I... Why'd I do this to myself? Once I, finish the Gibson hummus bomb... What did I call him that? The Gibson hummus bomb page and the Madless rewrite, I'd work on Homies Allure again, because if you didn't know, last Christmas I gave you my heart. Last Christmas, I promised for, like, a little Christmas gift to make, like, a homie lore page that goes in depth of his, like, ancestry and his, like, family. Here, let me do that. Okay, is it gonna stick? His, like, family and his, like, genetic, like, all that stuff, like, his douchebag, stupid fucking grandpa, and his parents, and, the thing that happened with Sam, his best buddy from high school. If you know, you know. And I rushed it, because what happened was, I originally was going to get it out by Christmas Day, and then around the night of Christmas, like Christmas Eve, I got sick. And so when everybody else was over, I was in my bedroom, like, dying of sickness. Not dying. I eventually did come down, but I was sick, which really, really stunk. And it marks the descent of my immune system becoming bad, because previously it was pretty good. And then I pushed it to New Year's. So I was, like, sitting there on New Year's trying to rush through to try to finish it, and, it's rushed. Things need to be changed, need to be retconned, need to be fixed. Stuff about his lore, like, originally I wasn't gonna let him live a little longer, but, after certain events, I think I'm just gonna fix that, to make it so, he becomes, like, the owner of the restaurant. Whatever, I'm losing track, so, what's the point? His skin, like, within this form, is, like, not super dark, but it's, like, a blue indigo, like most of his species. A little more purple, but, it still can be categorized as blue if you really want. But more specifically, like, indigo. And there you go. In his universe, he's, like, 6'3". I know that's big, but we kind of have to agree upon the fact that in the Glagoland lore, yeah, this is a Glagoland character. You couldn't tell if you read his backstory. I'm an edgy teenager. That's what I do. But, they're probably not actually as tall as they call each other. And their measurement might be because in the beginning of their civilization, humans came along and they, like, because we're... God, my throat. Because we are greedy creatures who love to influence our pride and our, all that stuff. We told them probably that our thing of measurement, and I imagine there was some kind of, like, secondary space race to get to, like, in that alternate universe, to get to Galagoland first, like, the actual Earth. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. I guess I'll explain it. But I don't know, they'd probably give them, like, their own, like, measurements, like, hey, this is a foot, this is an inch. And then they translated it down to their size. So even though he's, like, 6'3", he wouldn't, like, if the humans came back to the Earth, they're probably long gone by now, came back, he'd still be shorter than them. Still tall for his species, but not taller than a human. Because I couldn't imagine something that big. That'd be, because they're as big, tall, as they are, like, wide. Because these are spears. They're supposed to be almost perfectly circular. I mean, probably not because of physics. They have to bounce around and stuff. But for, how tall, how wide, all that kind of jazz, it's all basically the same. So imagine having that big... Hold on, my dog's barking. Shut up! Please, gosh, why are you always barking at everything? talking. An asshole. There's nobody there. Alright, you know, I couldn't imagine having something that big within my space. Because, you know, it's one thing to be 6'3", but to be 6'3" wide, like, that's crazy, you know? I realized that it'd be hard to, you know. Anyways, so yeah. I mean, have your fun. And he's not always smiling. Like I said, you know, different expressions. In fact, he's probably like, usually like, yeah, I hate my life, I hate my life. Well, he doesn't hate his life. He just wish it turned into a different direction. So yeah, now on to the actual fun part. I've almost yapped for 11 minutes actually now. The human design. So, the first thing I always do is I draw, you know, the head. And it's, you know, it's circular at the top. And at the bottom, it's kind of like a rounded rectangle. Oh, God, okay. Let me zoom in this. I want to draw, like, you know, a rounder top and then a more edged bottom. But still round enough. Like, he's not, like, chiseled. And then you want to, you know, usually he's slouching, but in this one, I guess he's not. I want to draw a little neck. Leave a little space right there, you know. Of course, implement your style. I usually can't decide on neck size. Still figuring that out. And he has, like, really, really wide shoulders, which is supposed to... I don't know, I kind of like the design, but I'm trying to add, like, an excuse to it. I like it because he tries to take the least amount of... Like, this is kind of relatable to me. He likes to take the least amount of space within the room. Like, you know, he doesn't like to take up space. But because his shoulders are so, you know, broad and wide, he kind of has to. You know, he can't really compact himself into, like, one little area because his shoulders are fucking enormous. Like, Papyrus from Undertale. Man, I wish my voice was, like, this long, without, you know, the stuffiness. But that's the thing about being sick. What happens is, when your throat is, like, irritated, your vocal cords, are, like, inflamed, and so they're bigger than normal, and so, or thicker than normal, and so the thicker your vocal cords are, the lower your voice is. Sorry. So, when I get sick, it usually starts with my throat, and the vocal cords get thick, and then I start to sound, you know, deeper. And then after that, they make it so sore and stuff that I sound like a little kid with puberty. Like, one time, it was so bad at, like, in eighth grade, I think it was. I know it was, like, around, what, more than 2 years ago. So, it was in middle school, and then it happened to me, and I sounded, like, fiery if he, you know, smoked, or if he did weed brownies, and, like, you know, I sounded, like, kind of like a guy going through puberty. And I liked it, but then or not the voice cracking part, but I liked having a deeper voice, because I could go lower, and then it just returned. I don't think I'll ever have, like, the deeper voice I want without, you know, external influence, but it's fine. So, yeah, his ribs, his chest is ginormous. Not, like, outwards, you know, he doesn't have man boobs. But his chest is just big. He has those, you know, he probably breathes really well with that, you know, that amount of space that his lungs take up. Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't want the thing to flip over. So yeah, like a large chest area. You want it to kind of be like a slight trapezoid, like outwards. And then shoulder blades, like, slightly raised. Slightly raised. And then you kind of want Now, on his clothing, you can't really tell, but this little waist area, is it a waist? That's my dog again. He's like growling. Little waist area and the hips, kind of just like a ruby, diamond shape. I say ruby because I think of like Ruby from BFDI, but you kind of like take off the edge, I guess. This is just like the framework, and then like once again, do what you do for your style. I'm not saying that you can't change things, but oh fuck, god damn it, that scared me. Well, let me put that back, and let me press my my stomach up against it so the clip doesn't snap off again. So continuing on with the thighs. I'm not good at drawing legs because I usually just cut it off like right here when I draw things. I'm not good with feet either because it's kind of weird, going on Google and saying, searching up feet. Like people, you can have a hand fetish, but it's not like the norm, it's more like people have like a foot fetish. And so like they like feet. So when you look up feet for artistic reference, they look at your search history and be like, why is my teenage daughter looking up feet? When I'm looking for a reference? But you could probably word it differently. You could probably say like, oh, feet reference, how to draw feet. But for now, I don't really do that. Maybe when I get Pinterest, if I do get Pinterest, maybe I'll use that. So, I always screw up this part. Yeah, so thighs, and then you gotta get the kneecap. This shit's good looking kind of ass. God, what am I doing with my life? I don't know. And then I guess going outward like that, I don't really know. The calves, like he's not muscular really. He's not super muscular. I was gonna, make it part of his lore. That Sam, his best bud, because Sam likes baseball, likes sports, all the typical, masculine things, and tried to get him to do sports like one year. Maybe he did like track, but because this guy is so tall, I'd imagine he'd get knee pain from doing it and then stop and be like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. You can't make me. And then the feet, I don't know. That was kind of weird on him. I guess just draw the boxes and call it a day. You can always put shoes over him. Let me check on the dogs. No, don't fall again. Don't fall again. What the hell are you doing? What did you do? She teleported. So now you got, oh my god, it's almost 20 minutes long. You got the arms. So you wanna maybe make the shoulder blades a little more visible. Oh no, it's off center. Oh god, it's off center. Is there any way to fix that? Maybe if I remove the guidelines, does it look better? No, it doesn't. God, it's off center. How do I fix that? Whatever, he's off center. Okay. Or maybe it's a headset's problem. Alright, hold on. Head shape, by the way, or head size. I'm still working on that. Don't know how to do that. Make it not look weird. Whatever, it's okay. This is going on for long enough. So the arms, I kind of want to make like as thick as this part, or this part of the calf, or at least the upper ones. I don't know. And then his arms, like, I don't know how long they're supposed to be. I could look at myself in the mirror, but I'm like 5'1". I'll say 5'2" to make myself feel better. But yeah, I'm like 5'1". I'm really short, so I don't really have a good reference. Same thing with the feet, you know, because I don't have arches. And so the bone, I can't show you, obviously. I'm not going to do that. That's a great way to expose myself. But like the bone is off center. And I don't have an arch because when I was like a little kid, I kept, you know, walking on my tippy toes. Plus, it's like genetic stuff. So I can't really look at that for reference. You know, I'm all jacked up, if you could say. What did I just tell that? That was TMI. You didn't need to know that. I'm sorry. And then I kind of want to keep with that, you know, the shape, that the geometric looking stuff. Like, I kind of think of, you know that one character's son, or the daycare attendant from, that one FNAF game, Security Breach? I noticed that the way that they modeled his like, forearms, kind of like that. And we want it to be, how do I do the measurement? I want the hand to maybe reach down to here? I don't know. And I know the bone is supposed to have, like, a curve, so you could try to add that, but I'm not the best at that. And honestly, I really don't feel like finishing his body. He didn't really, I don't know. I guess that's good. You know, that's alright. I'm very bad at making my art, like, consistent. And then sometimes, because I have it on my hands, I like, there's also, if you kept up, yeah, the tan from the sunburn is still there, but there's like, where is it? There's like the bone of the wrist, I can't show it on camera, but there's like a bone, within the wrist that I really like drawing on them, because I like it on me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna like unlist this after I post it for a bit. And then the hands, I'm still figuring out the hands. How big I want them. Maybe just keep like the box shape for now. Drawing like mittens beforehand. Whoa. On my throat. Hold on, let me get it. I might get my tea. My throat was getting irritated, so I grabbed the tea with the honey. Pablo. So hands I'm still trying to figure out, but I know, are they the same side? Whatever. This one goes out like that, and then, kind of want that jagged point within, like, the fingers. And yes, he does paint his nails. Just because it looks cool. God, the hands are massive! What did I do? Whatever. Fuck it. We're just gonna keep going on. Just keep swimming. Do more of that. Right, what did I do? Whatever. Whatever. We don't need that. just do it yourself. You get the gist. So the face, most important part. Oh yeah. So, you know, we have for the hair, even though I said face, the little, you know, because some guys, I think girls have it, you know, it doesn't, I think, it's just, if you have shorter hair, my throat's getting irritated again. Man, why now of all things? To get sick. So yeah, that's where, like, the hair would come out from. So for the face, you know, he has, like, I like to draw the eyes and the nose first. God, I can't think. I can't. So the nose, I want to kind of, like, place it right there. And because, oh my God, I'm so dry. And I just spilled my tea onto my math homework. God damn it. God damn it. Alright. Well, it's okay. I'm okay. Everything's alright. Everything's totally tubular. We can fix that. Just gotta dry it off. It's only tea. I mean, a little bit of honey, but honey doesn't go bad. So the nose in my style is, like, straight, kind of, but if you look, like, sideways, it's, like, the hooked, I think it's called. I really like big noses like that. I think it's kind of cool on him. Gets that from his mom. You know, kind of draw that, like, from the front. Like I said, if your style calls for drawing a full nose, like, in front view, do that, but I really know how to draw noses from front view without, like, you know, shading. My throat, dude. Feels like a tiny flame is dancing in my throat. It hurts. So, mouth is kind of the same. You know, I draw the lines. You don't have to. And then the eyes. The eyes, for me, is one of the most important parts. And then sometimes I'll draw, like, the little indicator of the bridge. The eyes. Now, kind of want to do, like, a close-up over here first. So, like, the upper part, the upper lash, or lid, whatever, kind of goes like this. And because I kind of got influences from Narami, the end part is kind of like that. Oh, I need a tissue. God. And fuck me in the ass. So it kind of goes like that, and then you want to draw the whatever pupil iris thing like that. It's like whenever I do it in, like, a digital app, I noticed that it's directly the bluest blue it could be on the thing, like 00 something. But if you want to make it look more natural, you can. It's just very, very, like, blue. But not like my eyes. My eyes are blue, but they're like a grayish light blue. So, you know, you could do, like, straight blue. I mean, he's not straight, but, you know, straight blue for his eyes. Oh, God! I'm dying. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And then this one, in my style, I kind of do, like, up here. And then you want to drop it down like that on, like, a point. I'm gonna drop it down to here like that. And then you want to give the wrinkles from like an eye bag or something. And then, actually no, gotta be something like that. No! Like that, whatever, fuck. I need to stop saying fuck. I sound like Vivzy Pop, and I've been told that if you curse, it makes you look unintelligent. And I'm very much intelligent. I just use it when I don't have anything else to say. For the eyebrow, it's very pointed. Like, my eyebrow kind of goes down like that, but not like this. Like, there's like more hairs on the end that makes it soft, but this one's like very pointy. You could draw like stuff down here. And then sometimes, at least on the, hold on. How does it work? I hate doing this. I hate when directions like that. On his left, on his, oh wait. Wait a sec. Is it his left or is his right? I mean, have I been drawing him mirrored? Have I been drawing... I don't know. I hate doing that. I hate figuring out if it's like the mirror, or if it's your right, it's the mirror's right, or if it's his right, you know, left, whatever. But, like, on here, it would appear like on this side, so... A little slit in the eyebrow. He doesn't have like a scar there, you know, but just people do that for like styling purposes. And it's like the same color as his hair. If you really want to, you could make his eyebrows like completely black, like the Chav girl with the thick, you know, the thick black eyebrow. I guess you could do it like that. Now, if you translate over here, it's kind of hard. 32 minutes. Oh God, I'm gonna lose viewer retention. I guess like right here. Oh, I forgot this slate. You know, I'm not gonna edit. Fuck. Why do I say fuck so much? I don't have any reason to. Whatever. I forgot this slate. And I choose eyes from again. Whatever, you know, just simplify it for dots. Whatever. We can just remember that's what it looks like. I just don't feel like putting it on, whatever. Just do that for now, whatever. And then the hair, there's like this massive, little, whatever you call that. And it's like also very geometric, and you can draw like smaller ones, and it like swoops over like that. I don't know who his barber is, if he does it himself. I know he cut his hair, like he had really long hair in high school, and then he'd cut it to be short, at least like down here. I guess it could be symbolism for letting go of your past, but then I plan on him getting back the long hair when he's older, and he's like the owner of the restaurant, you know. But, you know, then maybe it loses its symbolism. I don't know. But yeah, he's that thing down there. And then you got this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This thing, like this little area is supposed to have, that's when it stops. I hate drawing ears, so I usually just cover it. But, then the second point over here, you kind of want it to slope down. Maybe that's too large. This was based off of like a Roblox hair originally. I didn't know how his human design was supposed to look like originally. So I kind of just made it first on like Roblox or whatever. And the hair kind of stuck. If you don't know, you could try to guess what hair it is, but it's a UGC. It's not like that blue, the true blue one. That could work for like a low quality, like free version of it. But that's not the one I used. Yeah, it doesn't have to, it just like it slopes down to that point, and it could be in any direction. I don't know what his hair texture would be. I'm not very good at determining those, because whenever I look at the example pictures, they just, I don't know. I don't even know my own curl type, because there's like 3 different ones that inhabit my head. And sometimes I'll draw like ones on the side that go like that, just to make more sense where the ears wouldn't show up. But yeah. I continue on the other side. And his hair is like a dark blue, but if you look at the actual, if you grab the color and you look at the actual, the color wheel on like Arms Paint or whatever, it's leaning towards like purple, so it's kind of like indigo. And then his actual skin is like a very olive, like he also got the olive a lot from his mother. He has very olive skin, but it's like, if you look at it, it's kind of like more greenish. I don't know. But one thing about that is if you like invert the colors of his hair and his skin, they're like almost exactly the opposite, which I didn't intend that, but it's pretty cool. Because if you think about it, hold on. You got yellow and blue, and then like a hint of green and purple. And those are like, you know, direct opposites. Like opposites, but you know, complementary colors on the color wheel would be like blue and orange and purple and yellow. But on like the inversion scale, like straight blue turns into straight yellow, and straight purple turns into straight green. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of dark. You know, like if he had like normal looking hair throughout his life instead of like blue to match this one. Well, no, the hair color and the skin color of this guy, not the same. But if he had like normal colored hair, I think it would be almost black. And then, you know, you could draw his sunglasses. Whenever I sketch, I forget to do the light because, you know, his hair's already in the way and I don't want to really erase it. And then usually he has this sweater, and I don't know how it would fit him because they don't really make, like, in the real world, they don't really make, like, I think for a lot of tall people, it's hard to find clothes that fit you. I'm covered in my mouth, so it sounded weird. It's hard to find, like, clothes that actually fit you. So I'm thinking maybe one of his friends sewed him, like, a sweater or something for him. I don't know, but it's also pretty blue. And the thing about it is that there's always 3 stripes. Like, on my Roblox avatar, obviously, because I don't make, like, UGC, and I don't make, like, clothing for it. Like, the hair is flipped, and the sweater has more than 3, but whenever I draw him, the sweater always has 3 stripes. You kind of want to make the sweater, you know, take some of that, because it's stretchy, but it's not like too loose. And then you want to draw the 3 sleeves. Oh, you didn't see that part, did you? It's 3 sleeves on the side. And then you kind of want to cover up this. Kind of forgot how it's supposed to look. Like that, and then the black sleeve on the bottom. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like how his sweater is supposed to, you know, move with all the wrinkles and stuff. It's something like that, I guess. I don't know. And then his jeans, they're like, you know, looser at the end. And that's because, like, you know, the jeans I typically wear, because my feet are like, the ratio from like foot to leg is totally out of whack. I don't like tight jeans because they're hard to get on. So usually when I draw jeans on characters, I never make them like super, you know, tight at the ankle, because it's kind of like, you know, imprisoning your ankles and your feet, you know. you want the pants, and then there's also like the stitching, this like copper gold looking stitching that goes along the bottom, but I can't really draw that right now. And you kind of want the pants to like hide his skinny little legs, but enough where you could kind of see, and then you just color them in. And he has like these almost purple boots. I don't know if I'll change them, but you could try to draw them. They're not gonna, like, I don't know how to make them look good. There you go, I guess. I don't really see the point of this video. I really don't. I don't know why I made it. I don't know why it has to be 40 minutes long. But, yeah, there you go. Yay. Oh my god, my head's gonna explode.